Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Exponential Potential. And this month we are talking about joy, we're talking about delight, we're talking about play, because it's that time of year. Hi Claire, we have my wonderful co-host, my fabulous co-host. We're co-hosting this episode today together, bringing you some really good different insight, I would say. Would you agree with that, Claire?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really looking forward to this month because I think we're covering aspects of play, delight, and really observing everything that's going on at the moment. There's a real crackle in the air, which is gorgeous.
Yes, and I'm fortunate to have a lot of sunshine. So anywhere where you don't have sunshine, I'm sending some sunshine your way, because you don't have to wait for the sun to shine to feel joyful. Yes, it helps for sure because of all that delicious vitamin D. Um, but you can find sunshine in every day, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're going to be sharing some things that you may not have heard before, to help you infuse your day and add that joy, that joyful mindset. So today's episode is all about the joyful mindset and crafting a life of delight and abundance.
Yay.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
sounds so juicy.
So where do we start? Where do we start on this one? What have your best tips been? Because well, much more than me, your life has been up and down and up and down, and yet when you show up with so much delight and playful energy. It's how come we're playmates, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you make a really valid point, Claire, because yes, we're talking about a joyful mindset and having joy and happiness in your life, and that it doesn't mean to say that you're always going to be, oh, I've got to be happy every single day, because that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about how to go with the ebb and flow of those ups and downs, and still feel ultimately at the core of you joyful, happy, and positive, no
Yeah.
matter what's going on. And absolutely, there are days when both you and we have, I have a duvet day occasionally, where I just, I don't feel so great. I'm feeling a bit depleted. And I think I just want to curl up on the sofa and watch films. Or there may be a day where I'm thinking, I need to lift my energy. I need to lift myself into a better frame of mind, and then I use my tools, which I'll share some of them with you. I use my tools to get me back into that zone, raising my frequency and my vibration.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think for a lot of people, especially if you've got a broader family or if you're a leader at work or you're running your own business, you can get caught in a bit of a cycle where months go by, or where your mood gets flowed, gets affected by people around you. And so, what I'm looking for in this conversation is how we can share ideas of how you can disrupt and how you can um, have your space, have your sovereignty in terms of your mood and where you
Mm.
go. It's truly
Yes,
empowering.
it is. And it's not just the people around us, it's the world around us as well. We get sucked into the news and what's going on in the world, and we have, I think the biggest, a really good reminder is the only thing we have control over, and we mentioned control little sneaky in the last episode, the only thing we have control over is the way we react, and as you said, Claire, our own sovereignty, the way we behave, the way we be in life.
Yeah.
And life, you hear it all the time, but life is just flies by. I can't believe we're already in April.
in 2024.
In 2024. Yeah,
Yeah.
life just flies by. So we're really going to delve into making the most of our days, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on around you, no matter who the people are in your life that keep showing up for you. And there's a reason why they keep showing up for you. And what you can do, like say, how do you hold that sovereignty? And you asked me a question which I hadn't answered yet, which was, what is a couple of things that I do to lift me through those ebb and flows when things feel heavy? And one of this, and it's not, I just want to say, it's not difficult. Lifting yourself up can be very, very simple and easy, but you have to be strong-willed about it, and you have to make a choice. Do I want to feel like this down here and heavy, or do I want to make the most of the situation? Do I want to make the most of each day and feel up here?
Yeah.
So one of the things, there's many, but the one thing that I find that's so simple is gratitude. And we've talked about gratitude before, but first of all, allowing yourself that space and that time to have some kind of gratitude ritual, or even if it's just 1 to 3 things, just one thing in the morning. What am I truly grateful for today? And it's choosing the right thing, because there's a lot of things that we feel grateful for, but then there's an underlying a little bit of a niggle, because there's some history or baggage tied up in it. So for example, if you feel gratitude for your husband, or your partner, let's say your partner, not husband necessarily, but your partner, you might have had an argument the night before, and that might still carry into your feeling gratitude for your partner. So when I'm saying choose carefully what you're grateful for, make sure there's no entanglements at the time. Or you can use gratitude to do the opposite. So maybe you have had an argument with your partner. So instead of focusing on that argument, start to focus on all the things that you feel grateful for about that person.
Yeah.
And that will lift and shift the energy. I've helped a lot of people in relationships around things like that. But when I'm saying choose something that's simple, easy to begin with, and my go-to is nature, waking up in the morning and hear the birds singing.
Yeah.
And feel it, allow your body to feel it. And my other go-to is my partner, because he is, we have such a wonderful relationship, and even if there is a niggle, actually I'm able to turn that around. But I'm just saying, if you're new to gratitude, or you haven't really experienced on a deep level, nature is one of the easiest things, because there is no entanglements in it.
Yeah, and I think in the past, to build on that topic, I've talked about our Friday frizz moment, which sounds really decadent, but it's actually just what's gone on this week. What do we celebrate? What are we grateful for as a family? And just stop and notice. Last week, because we've just finished March, I took the time to look over my calendar in the last 3 months. Oh my goodness me. Partly because I was feeling a little bit tired, and it's just like, wow, all of these activities that have gone on, all the gifts, all the energy and support and hope and love and friendship and feedback that other people have given me has just been incredible. And also gratitude gratitude slash celebration, really, as well, for other people and their achievements. And just go, yeah, that's awesome. I had a tiny part in that bit, but what that person's done in a kind of mentoring relationship that I'm in, she's been able to complete her dissertation. She's got a distinction. It's just brilliant, brilliant. And kind of that excitement for other people similarly lifts your vibration as well.
Yes, and I love that Friday fizz.
Mm.
Friday fizz celebration. That is lovely. And yes, if you want to see more in detail about some of the things that Claire's celebrated, you've posted it on your LinkedIn, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah, it's truly amazing to reflect back on all the things that you've accomplished. And I just want to add to you what you just said about, even though it was a little piece that you contributed. And I just want to add to that, in that it might feel that it's little, but actually the ripple effect of that contribution is huge, can be huge, because then the person that you helped with her continue with her dissertation and get her master's, you don't know the impact on her and then the impact she has on other people.
and over generations,
Yes,
just it's,
yes,
yeah,
yes. And contribution, actually, while we're talking about contribution and celebration, but contribution is a key element of joyful, bringing joy into your life each day.
yeah.
Because you saying that, how did that make you feel, that contribution that you made and seeing what she accomplished?
Yeah, and that's something I feel a little bit sad for at times in terms of contribution, because here in the UK, you might call that manners at times, just small things like offering a smile in the street is contribution to, a cohesive community. It's contribution to somebody else's mood, and if they smile back, brilliant. Opening a door, again, it's kind of seen as, well, it's polite to open a door for somebody else. Forget all the minefield of gender dynamics anymore. But opening the door is acknowledging, say, look, I see you. I see that
Mhm.
I'm not alone on this planet. We're part of this community, however big or small it is. Here you go. And just all of those little actions, yeah, they get bundled up as it's polite society or it's manners, but it all adds up.
It does. And I smile at a lot of people, and sometimes people might think I'm crazy, but actually I don't care. And I always talk to people in the supermarket. If I'm at a veg store, the veggie area is always a good area because it's quite interactive. But I'll always spark up a conversation with somebody. Just oh, hi, how are you? And, oh, sorry, I was going to take that orange, but hey, you have that orange, I don't, you have that one, I have this one. And it creates a little bit of banter and a bit of communication, and, as you said, community. And on that note, and this is something that I was blown away by, talking of contribution and kindness and manners or being polite. This was beyond that. I bought a few things at the supermarket, not a lot, probably about £15 worth, and I didn't have my phone with me, which has my credit cards and everything in it. So, oh no, the lady behind me, because I said, oh, can you keep that? I'm going to go and come back. The lady that was standing behind me said, oh dear, don't worry about that. I'll get this.
Well,
It, and it was just so wonderful. I mean, that was really above and beyond smiling. But when you smile at people, when you communicate with people and they smile back, it really lifts you, instead
yeah.
of, oh, get out of my way and there's too many people and it's too busy. It's changing your focus to something that's more uplifting. And I think that it does take practice, but smile at somebody today, why not?
Smile at yourself in the mirror. There's a start.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that can
But
be tricky, but yeah, smile at yourself in the mirror
those
is.
stories can transcend time, and so yes, it's really funny that we're talking about contribution. But yesterday, we spent time with my dad. My dad is of an age where he was a mod in the mods and rockers, and so that's a UK phenomenon where all the moped riders would go against all the motorcyclists, and there would be full-on fights and riots and hijinks in a violent way. But it was a really famous rivalry between two gangs, well, two cultures really. But he described how he was getting home after one weekend and he ran out of petrol. He was a mod and he ran out of petrol and he had no money on him, so he was a bit stuck. And this guy on a motorbike pulled up and he's like, "Oh God, here we go, here we go." But the guy's like, "Well, what's going on?" He's like, "I've run out of petrol." Like, "Well, I can get you some petrol." "Would you? I'll send you the money." He's like, "No, no, just make sure that in future, if you see anybody who's stranded, you pay it forward, you take care of them." And that's a story that he's held on to throughout his life,
Mm.
and has really influenced who he is, which has really influenced who I am, which now is influencing my son. So it's those very minor is not the right word. There's micro gestures
Mm.
that can have that ripple effect through time, and stories here across space, really, in
Mm.
terms of the reach of our audience. So
Mm. Yeah, and it's simple little things, and the conversation that we had when we were talking about this episode, something that I love the way you describe it is notice the driftwood.
mm, yeah, and that's a term that Gabby Bernstein uses, really, and it's a way of just looking up and realizing all of the small little things are happening around you, the small bits of progress towards a goal, or small bits of nature fighting through, coming through the cracks of a pavement, and just realizing that it's fantastic. Things are moving. And again, when you're caught in your head energy, when you're caught in that realm of busyness or conflict or anything like that, you you tend to become quite insular, and your focus narrows quite significantly, but you're missing all the little ingredients around you that are nudging you in the right direction. It's really key.
Mm. And the more you become aware and notice, the more you notice, and the more you'll feel uplifted, and well, the more you'll smile. I notice when I notice when I notice when I notice something that, just the little birds at the moment, it's just so beautiful in the garden and just brings a big smile to my face. And I watch them and they're chatting to each other and talking and then flying off this way and flying off that way, and then they come back again, and it's so simple, it's free,
Mm,
and it personally, it might not be for everybody, but that personally brings me so much joy to
yeah.
just sit and watch. But I liked as well, it's not just about noticing the little moments of joy, but something else that we were talking about was noticing the synchronicities that happen in
Mm,
your life that line you up
yeah.
to creating whatever it is you want to create, whether that's in your business, in your career, in your relationship, in your own personal life. um, so noticing synchronicities as things start to line up and things happen for you
Yeah. Well,
to
absolutely.
to lead you in another, or continue on that path, or lead you in a different direction.
Absolutely. And so listen, for many of our audience, that will resonate really strongly in terms of broader belief systems or being open to the concept that the universe has your back. But there's an increasing body of evidence, of research within business and strategy literature that examines this. There's a really great book that Richard Wiseman wrote many years ago called The Luck Factor. And and so just at the tiniest point, again, pulling through this noticing, if you spend time noticing what's around you, you will spot the dropped penny that's on the floor. You'll become instantly richer. If you just focusing going forward, hustle, 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 you don't stand the chance of that. And then similarly, there's a academic author called Christian Bush who talks about the synchronicity of business and how you can create synchronicity within and serendipity within a business environment through networks, through curious conversations. But what's at the core is being open to those new connections as they come through, and noticing them when they're there. It's like, I'm open to this, but I don't want that. I don't, no. What are you trying to say? No, it's like, be open and embrace them.
Yes, and talking of proof and things, Dr. Joe Dispenza does an awful lot around. He's a neuroscientist, but he does a huge amount around energy, and where your focus goes, your energy flows, or energy flows. So, if, for example, if you're looking to buy a car, and you're looking at buying, I don't know, a Jeep, and then all of a sudden you start noticing everybody seems to be driving a Jeep.
Yeah.
That's not the case. It's just that your focus is on buying a Jeep, so therefore your brain will tie into that and start seeing Jeeps. And it's the same with noticing the little joys in life, or the synchronicities in life. And the more you do, the more will come to you. It's the law of physics from an
And
energetic point of view.
And the opposite can be true as well. So we mentioned the world around us, the news that's here. We all know somebody who pays a lot of attention to the news, and so we feel that there's a burglar in every street, or a robber, or feels so much fear to go outside. There's just conflict and anger, and that reinforces that when they go outside and there's somebody who's a bit gruff or having a bad day, it's like, oh no, that's happening. So we can notice it in other people when the spiral's down, and when you notice that happens, the next step, and it's a big step, is realizing that you have the power to either have your own negative circle, or if you can do a negative circle, you can have a positive one, just by the very nature of how it works. It doesn't have to be one way.
You have that ability and that control to make a choice and change the way you approach things. And it's noticing how you are through your day, noticing what you're focusing on. Are you focusing on all the negativity, or are you focusing on things that are lighter and more positive and more joyful? And you get to choose. And if you surround, and also there's also lots of studies being done around the people that you surround yourself with. So you can be a bright light in a circle of darkness, but that takes a lot of energy. And yes, you do impact, and you can impact other people. But the more you surround yourself with like-minded, positive people, the more you will feel uplifted. And that's not to say that you want to create your own bubble, because I think, I was talking about this at the weekend about shining your light, or helping people see a positive. And not everybody's open and willing to listen to that. But if you live that way as a role model, you may have, you'll have impact on people and go, what are they doing different? And I was talking about luck at the weekend. Oh, because we live in Italy, and there's quite a few English in this area. It's like someone was saying or people say, oh gosh, you're so lucky to be where you are. And it's not about luck. You create your own luck. It's about doing and being in the right mindset and being positive and going, right, I'm going to do this, and doing it, but doing it from a positive point of view of believing that it's going to work out, believing in your capabilities and your own abilities, and believing what's possible for you. And I think that possibility element also helps bring you more expansive joy.
Mm. And yeah, for many years, what I've grappled with is this sense of, is this naive optimism. And it doesn't have to be either, because you can be fully aware of all of the risks and all of the challenges and choose to see the good and choose to see the opportunity and choose to act. So it's not complete blindness to risk by any means. It's not some unachievable Pollyanna
Mm-hmm.
existence, but it's more intentional, really, in terms of how you live and how you grow.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not, like you say, it's not being oblivious or naive to what's really going on. It's making a choice. And we all have that choice. We all have that power within us and that control of where do we choose to put our focus. And if you go into the day being more mindful and aware and decide at the beginning of the day, I'm going to start noticing the good. I'm going to start noticing those small things. I'm going to stop and smell the roses. I'm going to stop and notice that driftwood that's coming into my life each and every day. And the more you do it, the easier it will become. And it'll just become it will become natural for you, because you're physically going to be rewiring your brain, rewiring those neuro pathways to stop looking for the negative and start looking for the positive. And I just want to say about the universe happens for you. So even when it feels like it's against you, it's showing you that there's something, it's making you notice the way you are. So, for example, if someone keeps getting, they have, for example, let me just think about a good example. So, if you're sick, or if you hurt yourself, or if you if something keeps happening to you, people keep showing up in a certain way to you. The universe, when when you're sick or when you've hurt something, could be that the universe is trying to slow you down because you're constantly on the go. So that's one of the ways of looking that the universe is happening for you. And
It's slowing you down, or making sure that all the ingredients are in place and catching you up.
yes, slowing down to speed up, absolutely. Or it's stopping you and trying to put you on a different direction. And the other element, if people keep showing up a certain way for you, like for me, for example, relationships, I was constantly attracting a certain type of person. That was happening for me because that made me look at myself. What am I doing? Because there's a common denominator here, and that common denominator is me. So what am I doing? What do I need to change? How do I need to change? And it was a belief system of men are just, crap. They're all cheats and liars. And, so hey, guess what I was attracting? So yeah, again, where you put your attention is so key to creating that joyful mindset.
And I mean, to share another area in terms of driftwood, and that's compliments and accepting compliments. When people either pay a compliment in terms of how you dressed or what you're wearing or how you do things, accept it with grace. Just absorb it. It doesn't have to, doesn't make you a big-headed show off or all this, and so what if it did? But you just take it. Acknowledge that someone has taken the time to give you that feedback, and hold it.
Yeah, I think that's really key, because women are so bad at receiving compliments. And it's being open to receiving and appreciating the fact that that person has taken the time to appreciate you and give you and show you that, to give you a compliment and give you some feedback, because that's time and energy out of their time, their mind. And I think the more we accept and receive, and gratitude is key, and joy is key to leading you into abundance. And that's the link into, love, gratitude, joy are all a big element of feeling abundant. And we do, and it might be hard to hear for some of us, but we live in an abundant world.
And it can be hard as well, because for many people who have more nefarious goals, kind of that can be a way in, or catcalling, or kind of, you think, well, why are you giving me a compliment? What is it you want?
Mm.
You sort of immediately go on the ante at times, but you don't need to. You can absorb the energy of that, and even if you say thank you, that's very kind of you, walk away.
Mm-hmm.
You hold on to that compliment, you hold on to that remark, and you also hold on to your sovereignty. You won't hand over any power or control to the other person.
Mm-hmm. And I think that thank you is really key, instead of brushing off the compliments, because we're good at brushing compliments off. And that's a sort of a step into being open to receive.
Mm.
So gratitude, giving appreciation to others. If I see somebody in a really lovely dress, or their hair, or whatever it might be, from a physical point of view, oh my God, that dress is gorgeous.
Mm.
And no, but it really is. And there are, and some people, oh, this old thing, but some people will go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. The
Yeah.
more we do that, the more we are, one, again, we're lifting our own joy, but we're also being open to receiving.
Yeah. There's we talked a lot about relationships, and again, kind of one of the games that I hear about and I haven't tried is a gratitude ping pong game, where you sit across from your partner, and it's like, I really like that about you, and then they have to say, I really like that about you, and you just have this interplay. I imagine at first it feels a little bit forced,
Mm-hmm.
but actually just taking the time to genuinely find the good and remark on the good, share the praise, celebrate
Mm-hmm.
from the other person's qualities.
Yes. Yeah. So I think, just to summarize, gratitude is key every day. And there's so many different ways you can play with gratitude, as a family, or as an individual, or in partnership. Open to receiving compliments, noticing the driftwood, noticing those lovely things that surround you that make you smile, noticing the synchronicities. And then the other thing was to, and it's completely left my mind now, what was the other thing, Claire?
Well, it's
What's the
definitely
other
around
thing?
celebration comes
Celebration
through, and I
and
think you
contribution.
can. I think there's a subtle element of gratitude being the energy to say, oh, thanks, universe, you showed up for me today in this way. This is really cool. Celebration is, oh, thanks, universe, you're showing up in that way, and that's really encouraging for me as well. But oh my goodness, they've got so much going on. You're doing a
Yes.
great job.
Yes. And shift your focus from focusing on the negative to focusing on the positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that mindset is within the grasp of everybody. It
Yeah.
may not feel like it at times, but it is within your grasp to bring that through. We all are surrounded every day by an infinite number of small bits of joy.
Yes. Yeah.
Grab 'em,
So make
grab
the
'em.
choice. Make the choice and focus on joy. Well, thank you very much for listening, for watching, and we can't wait to bring you another episode around joy and play.
Indeed.
And yeah, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, pass, pay it forward, pay on some joy, pass some joy forward.
Indeed.
Till
Thanks,
next
Jen.
time. Thank you so much, Claire. It was lovely to see you. Till next time. Bye.